The markets are, having another weird day here as maybe we're taking another look at the rotation. The famous rotation may actually be taking place. Tesla's been erratic this morning, up and down, all around. But right now, as I'm starting this today, it's down about 3 points. But the Mag 7 and the Nasdaq are being crushed this morning. But according to Barron's, this is what they think about Tesla right now. It says the small drop this morning in the share price pre-market is despite the fact that Barclays' Dan Levy has raised his Tesla price target to 225 from 180. Of course, that's lovely to raise the price target to 225 when you're sitting at 256 or something like that. But anyway, that's what Dan Levy has done this morning. He says the target price increases can help stock, but Levy kept his hold rating on shares and still has concerns. He acknowledges the potentially disruptive opportunity from robotaxis, but adds success in that business isn't certain, leaving investors with an all-or-nothing bet on self-driving cars. What nonsense. What do you mean an all-or-nothing bet on self-driving cars? Does he completely discount Optimus and energy and everything else? Levy's target raise is one of many hikes since Tesla reported better than expected second quarter vehicle deliveries. The average analyst price target has risen to about 204 from 184 since the end of June, just before the delivery report, that according to FactSet. Earnings estimates are higher too. The average estimate for second quarter earnings per share is now 61 cents. That's up from 58 cents. And, the guys who know Tesla a lot better are much higher than that, up in maybe the 70s and 80s. The average estimate for 2024 earnings per share is now 243, up from 239. The street, on the other hand, added a different quote from Levy, and it says, "We remain cautious and maintain an equal rating, noting the need for potential midterm estimate cuts on weaker volumes and considerable uncertainty regarding the fundamentals will improve." By the way, other articles that were talking about this same note indicated that Levy is Levy, different people pronounce it different ways. I'm not sure how he does. He estimates or is very concerned about the margins, that he thinks margins might have slipped. I don't think that's going to happen. I think margins are going to be up nicely. Anyway, Gary Black says this morning, Tesla's China M3 delivery wait times have extended again to 3 to 5 weeks, up from 2 to 4 weeks. This is up from 1.1 to 4 weeks at the beginning of July. We believe this reflects success of the 0% financing rates. I'm just surprised it's taken this long for the M3, for the Model 3 to become a big deal. I really believe that Model 3 is underrated, and at some point, the folks are going to get it, and the numbers are going to really kick up. This is from CB_Doge, DOGE. Microsoft has laid off its entire DEI team, to which Elon Musk responded, "The tide is turning," and none too Cern, in my personal opinion. No matter what you feel about my politics and anything else, DEI is stupid and racist. I'm sorry, it's just a fact. This is Randy Kirk. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notify button. We will not be having Scott Walter. He is on the road this morning. Not 100% sure what we're going to put in the middle of the day, but I might just call up Ryan Wang. I know he's got some stuff on his mind right now, so we'll see what that's going to be. And then, of course, we have Jeff on later tonight on Good News Wednesday. I think there's a very strong possibility, once again, that Tesla will end up in the green before the day is out, because it's really been trying to get up there. All right. By the way, I called that yesterday. It wasn't a serious call, and this isn't really a serious call either, just fun. All right. While there is still, did you remember to do Patreon? Yeah, Patreon. Thank you. Oh, I had one yesterday. Another guy, I didn't write it down. I got to do that later today. But thank you very much for joining up. And, the more the merrier. We really need a lot of folks on that Patreon. While there is some continuing evidence of a revolution, there is some continuing evidence of a rotation in the early action this morning. It seems more like a general trimming of the fat from people's portfolios after all these run-ups. Yeah, I mean, yes, the Dow is up a little bit, but it was down earlier. You got gold. I mean, you go across, we'll be doing that in a minute, but it kind of looks like people are saying, hey, we've made a lot of money recently. Might be a time to pull back. Reporting on housing starts and industrial production were much stronger than expected, and that could also be dampening, just putting a little damper on the hope for rates cuts. So let's take a look at those in a second here. 𝐂𝐤𝐵𝐶 says this morning, breaking, Donald Trump warns that Fed Chair Powell, he warns him not to cut interest rates before the 2024 election, according to the Financial Times. So Trump apparently has said that he will continue Fed Chair Powell's, he'll let him go his full term if he's doing good things or the right thing or something of that nature. So the Financial Times took that, I guess, to mean that he should not cut interest rates before the election. I don't know. I don't think Powell will be impacted by that. And the bond market isn't really responding this morning in any way that would be reflective of that. It's up a little bit. The bond yields are up a little bit, but that could be because of this. Privately owned housing units authorized by building permits in June, a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.446 million. That's an annual rate. That is 3.4% above the revised May rate of 1.399, 3.1% below June's rate, but single-family authorizations in June were at a rate of 934,000 units, which is actually below the revised figure. So the what do you want to call it? Single-family homes were down a bit in June, but the overall housing units was up in June. And this was a beat compared to the 1.4 million expected. So 1.446 compared to 1.4. So that was higher than expected. This is kind of a surprise to me too, that the multifamily units are doing well compared to single families. Although I think I've reported, I really need to go back and look at that number again. Please remind me that we need to look at the vacancy rates, because I was seeing that vacancy rates on or occupancy rates on multifamily units was up to 94%, which would potentially cause people to start building again. Housing starts. Privately owned housing starts in June were at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.353, which is 3.0% above the revised May estimate. And the June 2023 rate was 1.415. Single-family housing starts in June were at 980,000, which was below the May number. So once again, apartments or multifamilies up, private residentials down. The June rate for units in buildings with 5 units or more was 360,000, was a beat. The overall situation on housing starts and on permits both beat. There was only 1.3 expected on housing starts, and they got 1.353. So a substantial beat in both situations. So again, this could be impacting the bond market a little bit this morning, could be impacting the overall stock market. Industrial production rose 0.6% in June after advancing 0.9% in May. This is a surprise. For the second quarter as a whole, industrial production increased at an annual rate of 4.3%, which is excellent. Manufacturing output moved up 0.4%, that's up 3.4% on an annual rate. The indices for mining and utilities posted gains of 0.3% and 2.8%. So what we're seeing right now is capacity utilization moving up to 78.8% in June. That's 0.9% below its long-term average. So we're not quite back up to perfection, but quite frankly, 78.8% is good and way better than the market was expecting. So overall data about the economy continues to be mixed. That's obviously going to be creating some confusion. And what, again, we may be seeing a rotation. Maybe we're seeing some trimming of assets in general. But let's go ahead and take a look at what the numbers are showing us, and that might shed even more light on it. Okay, Tesla's now down 5.29, and it's got it's after going up, starting a little low and then going up into the green. Now the momentum is definitely down. but the momentum is down. Nasdaq down 416. The Dow up now 152. So once again, that would certainly indicate some kind of rotation taking place. We've got the S&P down 59.6. We've got the Magnificent Seven dropping badly. I mean, even Apple's down 7, Google down 2.74, Amazon down 6, Meta down 17, Microsoft down 8, and NVIDIA down 7.5. Remember, just a few weeks ago, that would have been $75, so you have a little reference in your mind. And we even have the Cathie Woods mix this morning, but mostly down, although in very small increments, 16 cents, 3 cents, etc. So this would also be indicative that this is more about some kind of rotation. Let's go ahead and give you the percentages. We've got the Dow Jones up 0.36, the Nasdaq down 2.28%. We've got the S&P down 1.06 and Tesla down 2.35. All right, let's find out what those bonds are doing since I last checked. We have got the 10-year, the 10-year is now up 2.5%. That's more than it was earlier. We have got the 2-year up about the same, 2.8%. And the spread this morning is 47, and that's up. So yes, it's up almost over 30 basis points again. So that inversion has begun to reinvert. All right, I think we're not getting anything out of the inversion right now that is sensible, directional. Yeah, so there's not much to learn, I don't think, right now about the inversion. In my humble opinion, there's just no directionality. Okay, we have got oil up $1.47. We have falling inventories and a weak dollar, according to the headline. I saw headlines this morning saying oil continues to drop even anyway. So oil is up strongly this morning, up $1.46. Brent up $1.09. We have got oil at 82.22. For Texas Intermediate, that's still very, very low in its range. Natural gas down 5.71% this morning. It's getting very close to a one handle at $2.06. So that's really, really dropped off this summer. Yeah, I mean, it's surprising to me. Gold up $3 this morning at 2,471, so all-time highs again. But silver off 2.12%, down to $30.79, which staying above $30, but not that much. And copper down this morning 0.82% at 4.4. Again, that's kind of in the middle of the range. We've got the yen is down. Apparently it was higher earlier based on suspected intervention, but right now it is down against the dollar. The euro, I'm sorry, no, that is correct. The Japanese yen is doing well this morning. Dollar down. It's so confusing. I'm so sorry. And the dollar is doing well against the euro, however. We have got Bitcoin up down $105. That shouldn't be confusing, Randy. It's red. Anyway, and we've got this, that's at 64,863, smack dab in the middle of its range. And then, yeah, that's where we are. Let's go back and take a look real quick at Tesla again to see if the momentum is continuing. No, things have bottomed out now at 251.28 for Tesla. It's beginning to show some evidence of moving up again. And that is kind of, it's not across the board, but the Nasdaq, well, yeah, it's all shaky. There's no real clear-cut momentum as we conclude our analysis this morning. So don't forget to like and subscribe and hit notify. Jeff Lutz will be with us this evening to think about and talk about and make conclusions about what's going on this week. But maybe the rotation is real. How long does a rotation last? That's an interesting question. I'm going to look that up before I talk to you next. That is all I've got. Please hit up Patreon if you'd like to support the channel. It has been great, as always, speaking